This episode is brought to you by Boat Trader, America's largest boating marketplace. Whether you're buying, selling, or upgrading, the Boat Trader app makes it easy. With the biggest selection of new and used boats from dealers and private sellers. Browse, compare, and even apply for financing. All in one place. Download the Boat Trader app and start your search today.
Midway USA offers a wide selection of high-quality magazines from top manufacturers catering to various firearm platforms and specific disciplines of shooting. 223 is a staple, and 6mm ARC mags are just a few clicks away. If you own a clock, just bought a 6-hour, or want to shoot your 1911 a little more, you can visit MidwayUSA.com to get another magazine. Plinkers with a Ruger 1022 can have nearly as much fun shopping for a drum magazine as they can shooting it at the range. For just about everything for shooting, shop MidwayUSA.com.
Welcome to DSC's Campfires with Larry Weissoon, a unique blend of hunting, fishing, wildlife conservation, and the outdoor lifestyle. DSC's Campfires is brought to you by DSC, Conservation, Education, and Advocacy. Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Taurus, award-winning revolvers and pistols. Stealth Vision, high-tech, precision-driven equipment for today's modern hunter. Mossberg, American-built, American-strong. Vineyard Max, deer attractants created for the aroma of success, game feeders, and other hunting products. Red 55 Winery, signature wines from Emmy Award-winning country artist Miranda Lambert, owned by Rick and Beverly Lambert. And the Choctaw Hunting Lodge, home of some of the finest hunting in North America. Now, here's Larry.
We're so extremely proud to have Mr. Doug Hamlin with us today. We just happen to be at the DSC Summer Expo, getting ready this evening for the DSC Foundation Gala that's going to be out of this world, our fundraiser. But Doug, thank you so much for being here with us and what the NRA is doing and what you have planned in the future. We're excited, all of us are.
Well, thank you very much, Larry. It's a pleasure to be here with the Dallas Safari Club and to see you, Mr. Whitetail. It's always a pleasure to be with you, Larry.
It is truly a pleasure. Let's talk a little bit about what do you see in the future for NRA?
Well, there's a lot of optimism at NRA right now. We've been through an incredibly challenging period of time, but that's behind us, and we're reinvesting in our programs, our services, our education and training, our competitive shooting. We're getting back to being the NRA that made us the NRA. We're actually hiring, so there's a lot of optimism. We're moving forward as quickly as we can.
That's absolutely fantastic, because I remember the NRA of several years ago, including, we mentioned very briefly earlier before we were walking up here about the the Great American Hunters Tour that we did years and years ago, which is so much fun, and we reached so many different people. As we move forward, what can the members that are now there, if we're life members of NRA or annual members, whatever membership level, what can we be doing to help you to make the NRA that much stronger and where we need to be?
Well, thanks for asking me that. Get involved. We have over 600 Friends of NRA dinner across the United States, and those dinners benefit the NRA Foundation, which funds all of our youth education and training. So for me, it's about the next generation. I mean, as Ronald Reagan very clearly stated, freedom is only one generation away from extinction.
Amen.
And so it's up to folks like us to buy memberships for our sons, our daughters, our grandsons, our granddaughters. If they're kids in the neighborhood we're mentoring, make that investment. And more importantly than the investment is communicate to those kids what that means, because there's a disconnect right now. Guys like you and I, Larry, that have been in this industry for a long time, we understand freedom. Guys like Rick Lambert, our law enforcement veterans, they understand what freedom's all about, but we don't take it for granted, and I'm afraid some of this younger generation, they need to be educated a little bit more about freedom and how hard fought it has been to get.
I think in some ways this generation that we've had it a little bit easy in a lot of different ways. They've not had some of the challenges that we're almost at least two generations sitting here with Rick Lambert, our dear friend, sitting here with us. our times were a little bit tougher compared to some of the things that people are doing today in terms of whether it's having to do with work, with opportunities. We had great opportunities, and some of those opportunities, particularly in terms of guns and hunting, those are the ones that concern me that I really want to see us move into the future.
Yeah, and I know that you've made it a priority as well, Larry. I mean, you see all the, how do I say it, almost dependency on electronic gear, right? And you know, and I know, and Rick knows how important it is to get out there in a hunting blind, or do a walk-up stalk, or just smell the fresh air and listen to the birds chirping, right? Get out of the house, put the electronics down, and connect with nature.
Amen.
It's a long lost art, I think, for many in this younger generation. They've got to get involved, but maybe it's up to us as mentors to get them out there.
How do you think we can do some of these things? What would you suggest if a parent came to you and said, "Look, I've got a son and a daughter. I want them to be outdoors, but there's this thing called a telephone that they're messing with," and how did we get past that? Do you have any ideas about that or suggestions?
I do. So, for example, we have the Youth Hunter Education Program, and so it's at no cost to the child, and there's about 8 core areas of interest, everything from a wildlife ID chart to shooting muzzleloader, handgun, rifles, to orienteering, so the young person understands land navigation. You're in the field, you don't want to get lost. I mean, some of these fundamental skills that are helpful in anything you do in life. And then in addition to that, we've also got an online hunter education course. So in 16 states currently, the NRA, we've invested millions of dollars in this online hunter education program at no cost to the youth. They can get their certification so that then they can get their license, so then they can go hunting. And we know that there's a long curriculum of questions and answers and skills that need to be mastered before you're going to pass that online hunter education program. It is available currently in Texas and 15 other states. We want it to be available in all 50 states, and we're working hard to get that done. Go to NRA.org to find that program.
Got a feeling there are a few more other programs they can find there as well too, right? They can learn more information, real information, hard information, true information there as well too.
Larry, we have 120 programs at the National Rifle Association. I came from the publications division. Now I have 4 additional divisions, and I'm getting up to speed. I've been in this job for 14 months. There's a lot that we're doing that I was not aware of before I got into this. And so, for example, I came from Wichita Falls earlier today. We have a law enforcement program.
Yes, sir.
And so NRA stands with law enforcement. Without law and order in this country, we have nothing. And so there are special memberships, discounted memberships for law enforcement, and with that, there's an insurance benefit. So if the unthinkable happens, that family within 7 days will get a $35,000 death benefit. And I hate to say it, but we're losing far too many officers today. I saw there were 3 that we lost yesterday in Los Angeles. So anyway, it's a commitment that NRA has been making for many, many years. I don't think a lot of people know about it. So the Chief of Police in Wichita Falls, Chief Borrego, former Marine, tough officer.
Yes, sir.
Chief of Police there. Anyway, he's got upwards of 80 officers. We're gonna get memberships for all 80 of his officers, so they have that insurance.
That's a phenomenal program just in itself. It truly is. In thinking we're here at DSC, and I know that there was a joint program about if you join NRA and DSC at the same time that's been going on here as well too.
Yeah, Larry, thank you for reminding me of that. Huge shout out to Rob McKenna, CEO of Dallas Safari Club. He approached us and we said enthusiastically, yes, let's do a joint membership. So I think for $75 you get a membership in both Dallas Safari Club and the National Rifle Association, and that was Rob's doing, and I supported it wholeheartedly, so that is correct.
Hey, Ben, Rob was hoping to be here with us at the turn of this interview. Unfortunately, as you kind of mentioned earlier, there's a lot of duties going on with him today, particularly as well, too, and unfortunately he had some other commitments. I've been involved, of course, with NRA for a long, long time, and a lot of different facets of it, but also with the Dallas Safari Club. We're all in this together. How can we help you do a better job, and you being NRA as a whole, as a matter of fact, as well too. But how can we help each other? What's the best ways for us to through communication, through joint dollars? What's the best way where we can really help each other?
Yeah, I think for us it's really about conservation and making sure that habitats are stocked and available to those that are properly licensed and trained to go into the field to harvest and hunt and enjoy the wildlife that's out there. But it starts with membership. Both organizations need members.
Right.
So anybody listening, please join Dallas Safari Club, join NRA, go to the joint membership package and do that. And I came in from Washington, D.C. yesterday morning. I've got meetings on the Hill next week, and we used to have 5 million members. Our membership has deteriorated. Let me tell you, we still swing a pretty big stick in terms of numbers.
Yes.
We still have big numbers.
Yes.
So don't misunderstand that comment. But the more members we have, the more clout we have on Capitol Hill. And I have to say that President Trump is as good a friend the NRA's had in the White House ever, and we've had 8 other presidents that have been members of the National Rifle Association. But it's pretty well known, without the support of the NRA back in 2016, there's a good chance that we didn't get President Trump. And so our members made that happen. And elections have consequences, and with that election came 3 conservative Supreme Court justices, Gorsuch, Coney Barrett, and Kavanaugh. And so now some of the decisions literally that came out in the last week, 2 weeks, it's tied to that majority on the Supreme Court that came back in 2016 with that initial election of President Trump. So join Dallas Safari Club, join National Rifle Association. Support us, get involved at the local community level. Go to NRA.org to find out where the Friends of NRA dinners are taking place. Competitive shooting events, you want to compete, you want to graduate from being a plinker, being somebody that's going to the range occasionally, to somebody that's shooting to see how your skills compare to somebody else's. Go to NRA.org to find out when and where you can do it.
I want to go back to the importance of voting. You're right, because a lot of people think, well, I'm looking at this election. It doesn't have long reach effect. But just as you mentioned, those elections, and that's why it's so very important to me to have everybody that's got the right to vote. And there are a few, I think, that voted probably in the past that probably didn't have that right to vote. But if you have that right to vote, you need to exercise it, because it's the long range effect a lot of times that you're not looking at, that you really need to be paying attention to what, as you just mentioned, what the result of getting Trump elected in the past.
Larry, we talk about it was an electoral college landslide in 2024, but of the 7 battleground states, 6 of them were won by 3% or less, and Michigan and Wisconsin were won by less than 1%. I think it was less than 26,000 votes in Wisconsin.
Yes, sir.
So we won by a razor-thin margin.
Yes.
All right. To me, unless it's a President Trump, the man doesn't sleep. All right. I don't know if he eats. I don't know. I mean, this guy just works. All right.
All we're seeing, we thank God for him.
But we
literally
need voters, Larry. So you're spot on. We got to get those that are on our side of the issue to register and make sure they participate. Every vote counts.
One of the saddest things I've heard in a long time is the percentage, and I can't remember the actual percentage, of hunters who actually voted. That's so sad. Oh my God, our entire lifestyle, the things we love are at hand if we don't vote. How those folks can say, well, I'm not going to vote in this election, I don't understand that.
No, those are a very powerful voting bloc.
Hunters.
Yes. And the fact that we've identified this problem, I think, is the beginning of the solution. I think that now, because people will understand how close things really are. I mean, you could run Mickey Mouse on the you could run a lot of different people on the Democratic side, and they're still going to get half the votes, just because the bifurcation of the country is so significant. So we've got to get our constituents, our followers,
yes, sir,
our members out there to vote.
To me, the NRA is so very important, because when you get right down to it, it truly supports everything that I love, everything my family loves. And to not be an NRA member, I can't understand anybody that loves the outdoors or professes to love the outdoors, particularly to not be a member of the NRA.
That's right. I was talking to James Carter today. He's our Executive Director of Advancement, and my September column in all of our official journal magazines, it talks about, what would the United States be without the NRA for the last 154 years? When you look at the accomplishments of what this organization has done over the last 154 years, what would our country look like? We have made a difference, and this is why we're targeted. This is why this last 14 months has been very challenging, because lawfare is a very expensive distraction.
Yes.
And last year at this time, I was in New York State Court, same courthouse President Trump was in. It was tough. And so instead of focusing on programs and services and registering voters and doing the things that are important to us vis-a-vis law enforcement and youth, education, training, safety, Eddie Eagle, all of our great programs,
yes,
we're distracted. And so now we're trying to get that behind us. And we got a lot of optimism, as I said earlier, to get this ship in the right direction and continue to build on it.
You mentioned the Eddie Eagle program. Is it coming? I'm sorry, I don't know whether it's still in existence or is it not, or is it coming back?
Oh yeah, no, it's out there. And if you've got elementary-aged school children that would like to have a visit from Eddie, we can make that happen. And I think the number that I saw was over 32 million youth have been participants in the program. So absolutely,
Perfect.
Eddie Eagle's still out there, yes.
Love hearing that.
Yeah.
Any other advice that you'd like to give to people right now in terms of why we need to be with the NRA? There's never a question with a lot of us, but there may be some who go, why should I be a member of the NRA?
Well, I think that the reality of the situation is November 5th was a real turning point in the history of the United States. It was people like you and me, Larry, that helped take the country back. And we said, we're not going to take it anymore. Open borders, no border, no country. It's kind of like the adults are back in charge again. And
very true, very true.
It's like, you go home and you don't have money in your checking account, well, then you're not going to buy the new shirt. You're not going to buy the new car. So we're trying to tighten things up and do things the right way. But as importantly, we want to make sure that the rights of the law-abiding are protected, and that's what NRA is here to do, and that's what we've been doing for 154 years.
Absolutely. Let's say the website one more time. I know you've got other commitments. We got all kinds of commitments set up for you this afternoon, and we so appreciate you being here at DSC, and I think you're going to be our speaker this evening as well, too. So can't wait for that. But to let people know that don't know how to get in touch with the NRA, God forbid, I can't imagine anybody being that way, but what's the best website or whatever for people to go to?
Larry, it's NRA.org. NRA.org. Go there a lot, and I guarantee it, when you get in there and you start digging through it, you'll be there longer than you thought you were going to be there. There's a lot there, a ton there.
Well, thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you for what you've done in the past. I can't wait for the future, Doug. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Larry. My pleasure.
Our pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, join us right back here next week at the DSC Campfires. And in the meantime, if you're not an NRA member, you better go out and sign up because we need you. Please, please, please. See you next week.
DSC's Campfires with Larry Weishuhn has also been brought to you by The Crown Bar in LaGrange, Texas, the Texas Wildlife Association, Double Nickel Taxidermy, and Burnham Brothers Game Calls.
Help conserve Florida's flats fishery with the new Bonefish and Tarpon Trust license plate. Visit btt.org to reserve plates for your vehicle and boat trailer today.
Bow hunting all comes down to a moment. And in the moment, you want equipment on your bow that will get the job done. Trophy Ridge products are the tools bow hunters trust. React technology sights, rests, stabilizers, and quivers to help a bow hunter be successful in the field. And those tools are from Trophy Ridge.